Hello friends, welcome to Java training session 64. This is Haradhan here once again as usual. Today in this session, I will let you know the multi-threading in Java. Thank you all for watching my videos. In case you are enjoying my videos and learning automation testing and Java, please like and share my videos. Do not forget to subscribe my channel and press the bell icon so that you will get notification as and when I will upload any new videos. Do not forget to provide your valuable comment for any input or suggestion. Stay tuned for my next videos. So what does it mean by multi-threading in Java? So multi-threading is a mechanism that allows concurrent execution of two or more parts of a program for maximum utilization of CPU. Each part of such program is called thread. Threads are lightweight with process within a process. Threads are independent. If there occurs exceptions in one thread, it does not affect other threads. It used a shared memory area. So in my test engine session, right, you already noticed, right, we need to, right, some of the times we need to run suppose parallel execution. That means at the same time, like we will run the test cases in multiple browser or multiple OS combinations. So how can be possible? Because of multi-threading in Java, it is possible, right? So that multiple thread will come into the pictures and multiple thread will, right, work simultaneously so that, right, parallel execution can be possible in the TestNG framework. Okay, so whenever there is a suppose 5 thread, if 2 thread is failed, that means that does not affect the other 3 threads. Other three threads will be, I mean, process independently, work independently. So that is the advantage of the multi-threading in Java. And thread are independent, it is not dependent on each other, right? And it used shared memory area. Okay, so thread can be created by using two way. One is we can extend the thread class and another is the implementing the runnable interface. So you already know, right, whenever we need to use suppose class sorry class to class, it will be we need to use extend keyword. Whenever class to interface, we need to use implements keyword, right? Thread life cycle. So there are 5 different, right, status of the thread: new, runnable, running, waiting and dead. In the new phase, the thread is created using class thread class. It remains in this state till the program starts the thread. It is also known as brown thread. Runnable. In this phase, the instance of the thread is invoked with the start method. The thread controls is given to scheduler to finish the execution. It depends on the scheduler whether to run the thread or not. Suppose in case I already available 10 threads, right? But I have only 3 programs. So obviously 10 thread will not run. It will pick up the 3 threads, right? But in case we are having suppose 20 program and 10 thread is available. So definitely 10 thread will run, and as soon as the one thread is finishing this program, it will try to pick up the, like, the other program from the queue. So that's why it will happen. Running state. When a thread start executing, then the state is changed to running state. The scheduler select one thread from thread pool, it start execution in the application. Waiting state. This is the state when a thread has to wait. As there are multiple threads are running in the application, there is a need for synchronization between threads. Hence, one thread has to wait till the other threads get executed. Therefore, this state is referred as waiting state. Next, last one is the dead state. This is the state when the thread is terminated. The thread is in the running state. As soon as it completes its processing that particular task, it will be moved to the dead state. So whenever we are running a particular, we are starting a thread, right, it cannot be never started again. In case we are doing so, obviously first run will be successful, and whenever the second start, right, it will throw illegal thread state exceptions. In such case, thread will run once, for the second time it will throw exceptions. For every Java program, there will be default thread created by JVM or Java Virtual Machine, which is nothing but the main thread. The entry point for main thread is the main method, right? Suppose I have created here the class Java training Java season 64 under the package Java training, and the class project is Java training project. So by default, in case you are not creating any more thread, but by default, like main thread will be there, right? So how you can get the current thread? So you need to use the thread class, and you need to write current thread. I am creating the object instance for the thread class equal to new, and then thread dot current thread. Sorry, not new, thread dot current thread. So that's why I can create the object instance for the thread class. Now, if you want to print the details of the current thread, you can get it. You just need to simply print it, right? So let's run the program and let's see what is being displayed as part of current thread, right? You can see thread main 5 and main. That is the main thread, right? Now, if you want to print more attributes for the current thread, you can need to use that particular object code instance, then dot, right? So you can get the ID of the thread. Okay. Then if you want to get other details, you just need to use that particular object code instance dot, right? Get name of the thread. You can get the priority of the thread dot get priority, right? If you want to get the current state of the thread, you can still get it dot get current state, right? Get state. So that's why you can get all the thread attribute of the main thread. In case you are not adding any thread, by default it will be main thread, right? So you can see ID is 1 because only one main thread is name, and name is the main thread, priority is 5, and status is runnable, right? So here I already mentioned the status: new, runnable, running, waiting, and dead, right? So this thread is invoked to the start method, that is the thing, it is runnable, right? Then okay, also we can get to check whether thread group or thread is alive or not. Okay, so here if you want to get the group of the thread, so dot thread group, right? Get thread group. And whether thread is alive or dead, how can you get it? Dot is alive, right? Similarly, if you check it whether is interrupted or not, dot is interrupted, you can get it, right? Now let's run the code and let's see. Sorry. So it is not interrupted. Last is coming as false. Is alive? Yes, alive. And thread group, this is the thread group, right? Name equal to main, right? And thread group, it's runnables. Its priority is 5. Name is main, and get ID is 1. Okay. Now, if you want to change some of the attribute of the thread, right? You can still do it. You need to use the object of the instance ct dot set, right? You can see here set name, right? Suppose I want to change the name of the is test thread. I can do it. Okay. Now I can set the priority. Set priority, right? So priority will be, I am giving the priority as suppose 10. So obviously it will give me the 10. After setting the priority, if I want to get setting the name and priority, if I want to get the name and priority again, so I can need to print it out, right? So let's run it and let's see whether it's giving me the correct picture. So the first one is giving with the thread ID, right? Then name main, then priority is 5, get state runnables, then the thread group, and then is alive, yes, is interrupted, false, no. And right now I already setting the name of the thread and setting the priority. After that I want to get the name, is you can see test thread is coming and the priority is 10 coming, right? Now if you want to interrupt the thread, right? Let's interrupt the thread. After that, let's check whether it's interrupted or not. So obviously it will be true, right? Previously it is interrupted is false. So I can comment out all the codes here to check whether thread is interrupted or not, right? So previously it was not interrupted, so it will be coming as false. Right now I have interrupted the thread, so it will be coming as true. Right? You can see previously thread was not interrupted, so it is coming as false. Now I have interrupted the thread. Right now it is coming as true. Right? So that's way we can get the default thread properties, which will be the main thread. And if you want to change the name of the thread, we can still do it. Right? There are two other way where we can create the thread. Right? It can be created by using two ways. One is extending the thread class and implementing the runnable interface. As the interface, we have to implement it, right? So here we have to create another class, right? Before that particular public class, I will be creating another class test thread. Okay, I'm creating that class. Okay, here once the class is created, I need to extend it, right? As class to class, it will extend. I need to extend it to thread class. Now here I will be using creating any method, right? Public void run. Suppose method name is run. And here I am giving this, I want to print some output, say. Output will be suppose thread is running in thread is running for main method, say. Okay, that's output I want to get it, right? Now here, so I already created a class test thread which is extending the thread class, and here I am defining a method which is the run. Now I need to use that, create a object or instance for the class whatever is created, right, in the main method. Suppose t1 equal to new class name. Then I need to simply start it, right? That particular object or instance whatever I created, t1 dot start. You can see it is coming. Okay, so some error message is coming. Add static modifier to the parent type. Okay, then it's fine. If you run the program, you can see. Okay, some error is there because I need to close the bracket, right? Still error is there. Here another error. Okay, so that's two thing. I will close it here. Okay, now error message is gone. Okay, so I am creating a class which is extending the thread class, and here in the class I am defining a method, right? Suppose what output, because it is return type is void, so obviously I need to use SYSM method and I need to give some input, right? Then within the whatever class we have created which is extending the thread class, we are creating an object or instance, then we are starting the thread, so it will give you the output, right? Thread is running for main thread, right? So that output is displaying, right? So here I have mentioned one word, right? After starting the thread, it cannot be started again. If user do so, like illegal exception will be there, right? Illegal thread state exception is thrown. In such case, thread will run definitely once. One time it will give you the all the output, but second time it will throw exception. Suppose now let's start the thread twice. Let's see what is happening. Okay, you can see one output is coming, and after that it is giving the right error, illegal thread state exception. So okay, so thread cannot be started twice. Okay, Now I will show you another approach, right? So I already told like threads can be created in two way. One is extending the thread class, and one other is the implementing the runnable interface, right? So here I will, instead of the right extend what as the interface, we have to use implements. Implements what? Implements. IMPLE. Implement interface name will be runnable. Okay. Now same way you can define right the method in the particular class. So here what you need to do, so that particular method, sorry, particular class, you need to create an object or instance. Apart from that, here you need to create an object or instance for the thread class. Thread, suppose say thr1 equal to new thread, and here you need to pass the object or instance for the thread class. You need to close with. Now you need to start that method, that particular instant. Okay, so it will give you same output. You can see it is running for main method, right? So other way, we need to implement runnable interface. Whenever we are implementing runnable interface, so obviously we will be creating a object or instance for that class, right? Then we need to create a object or instance for the thread class, where we will be passing the reference of that particular class, which was implements runnable interface. Then we need to write that particular object or instance, whatever created for the thread class, we need to use that start method. If you run it two times, so it will again, it will throw you some error, because right thread cannot be started twice, right? For one time it will be giving you the output, other time illegal thread exception is coming. Okay, now here I just simply right uses the method body as thread is running for main method. Now if I want to use any for loop, so what will happen, right? So here I will simply use a for loop. For I am defining integer I, suppose integer I equal to 1 or 0, 0. Suppose I it will go, suppose say I it will go till 10. As that means I will go till 9, start with 0, I plus plus. Okay. Then again I need to give another body here. So that particular thing, whatever I have written here, right? User thread value is I. It will be concurrented by I. Okay. It will be semicolon. Now if you run the program, you can see, so you need to remove the to start, otherwise it will fail again. So I am removing that one part. Okay, so I have, instead of that like simple SYSO method, I have used a for loop here. So it will iterate from I equal to 0 and it will go till I equal to 9, that means less than 10, right? It will be I plus plus. So it will give you all the value, user thread value. You can see, right? Value 1, value 2 is coming, value 0, thread value, right? If we can, you can give some space as well. Okay, because the value will be 0 to 10. Okay, you can see coming 0 to 9, right? So that's why with the help of two ways, right? One is extending the thread class. Whenever we will be extending the thread class, simply we will be creating object orientation for that class. After that, we will start, right? That method. But whenever we are implementing the runnable interface, though we are creating the object orientation for that particular class, again we need to create an object instance for the thread class where we will passing the reference of that class. After that, with that object instance of the thread class, we need to use the start, so that thread will be start, right? Okay, these are the two way, and the five different life cycle of thread is, it will go for start with new, then it will be runnable, running, and sometime you need to wait, and once the thread execution is over, it will go to the dead state, right? And in case it started once, it cannot be started again. In case we are doing so, obviously one run start will be successful, and another run it will be illegal, thread, state, exception, error will be displayed. In case we are not, right, defining any threads, by default, right, main thread will be there. The independent of the main thread is the main method, right? And we can get all the details, get name, priority, id. We can check whether it's alive, interrupted, like that. After that also we can set the name, priority, and after one setting we can get all the properties again for the thread. Okay, so that's all for today's session. Thank you.